everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I'm going to go ahead and do a top 10 epic DPS list. Sort of like a tier list, but we're just going to run through them. Yeah, so I decided not to do the whole intensive tier list for all epics in the game, at least not right now. That was really time-consuming and labor-intensive for me, and it's a bit of a long series of videos to watch if you want to watch everything like I did for the rares. There's less rares in the games than epics, and it would just take like an hour each video, and that just seems like a bit too much if I broke them down by synergy. So instead, we're going to try to narrow things down, be extra picky, choose the best, and today we're talking about the top 10 epic DPS. But before we get into that, I have a word from our sponsor. I still consider Eternal Evolution to be one of the best idle RPGs I've ever played, and because I know a lot of my viewers still actively play it, I had to share with you guys something big. I've partnered with Aptoide to be able to bring you massive savings in the form of cashback style program. In just 3 steps, you can get up to 20% bonuses with every purchase. Even new players from day one, everyone could take advantage of this. Step 1, on an Android device or emulator, use my link in the description or the pinned comment to download Aptoide first, then download Eternal Evolution within Aptoide. If you're on a PC, you can copy the link into Chrome on an emulator like BlueStacks. If you already have EE on your device, still follow the same steps and update your version via Aptoide or remove the old one and reinstall. Register and log in to your Aptoide account. Step 2. Before opening the game, install the AppCoins wallet. This enables you to get discounts. A link is also in the description and the pinned comment. Step 3, this is an important one. Make sure you add my promo code within the AppCoin wallet settings. You can also see that it linked when you click the home page. Now you're ready to start saving and get more bang for your buck. Go ahead and open the game and get those purchases. Like this $100 pack, for example. It gives you $15 bonus app coins for your wallet. That's massive savings toward your next purchase and can really add up fast. Be sure to also check out the promotions tab after you've made your first in-game purchase to see more potential savings. It even tracks your bonuses to give you additional offers. The more you spend, the bigger your bonus. Plus, it's not geo-restricted. Everyone can take advantage of it. Links for everything are in the description and the pinned comment. And if you used my promo code before, you must update to this new one to continue receiving the bonuses for Eternal Evolution. Alright, so narrowing it down to a top 10 was pretty hard, so we're just going to call out 1 from fire, 1 from poison, then I think 2 from the others. I hope this is a little bit fun, and you guys can get some ideas of some of the strongest characters in the game, who I'm sure you're already very aware of. So I feel like this should be obvious choice when I talk about the top DPS for fire. Our friend Tunnelnon, she is a little warrior, a wild warrior. She does synergize amazingly well with other wild heroes. Her passive here gains extra 20% crit rate. So you can build Tunnelnon with only 80% crit rate and you're going to have 100% crit. Super simple, really wonderful. And each successful wild by allies grants 5% crit damage to this hero. Stacks up to 20 times. Yes, you heard that right. Up to 20 times. So 5 times 20, there you go. Pretty darn good extra crit damage. That's insane. So when you have a proper wild team built, you need more than 2 people ideally. 3 is a lot more ideal. We're talking Tunnelnon, Flora, and Erich, or Tunnelnon, Flora, and Elfie maybe would be a pretty ideal. Felicity, top tier. Even Tunnelnon and Erich plus someone else will be really solid. Because as often as people can proc wilds, which like Erich might not do a ton of damage himself, but because of this passive, Erich actually has more and more chances to gain lots of wild procs, which is going to make Tunnelnon do more damage, because the more Erich procs it, the more damage Tunnelnon is going to do. So you got to think about it that way too. While some of the heroes may seem kind of meh on their own, it's all about synergy. And Tunnelnon is top tier damage. It was so much fun. When I had them at about the same stats, well, not really same stats because never mind. I was like, wait, never mind. I can't even compare them. But there was one point where it was really fun in Vortex where my Tanonan was doing more damage than my Flora because there was a special boost for crit damage. And I don't have Flora built for crit damage. I have Flora built with attack and enlightenment, focus, and Tanonan was all crit and crit damage, and he just blasted. And it was so much fun to see him do so well and compete with Flora, thanks to that little boost from Vortex. Or her, sorry, Tanonan's a her. But yeah, her basic attack here deals damage 3 times to the enemy. The higher number difference between the buffs on the hero and the target, the higher the damage. So weird. So if you're attacking, if you have a bunch of buffs from your allies, supportive buffs or whatever, and your enemy has none, you're going to do even more damage. It's really quirky. It's a little weird battle skill, but hey, it works. And then same thing here. Her ultimate gains 20% attack up for 10 seconds and does 5 attacks to the target. So those are all, that's going to be chances to proc wild. The more chances to proc wild, I mean, everyone's just going to keep enabling each other, and Tanonan is a top tier damage choice. All right. I would say honorable mention to Foley if you need another wild, and honorable mention to Dane if you're just looking for someone to smash your, your goblin, but I wouldn't use Dane and other stuff. He's just not as reliable. Elfie is an amazing enabler for wild, but when it comes to the person actually doing the most damage, Tanonan is definitely the answer. All right, coming down to our poison heroes, I'm going to call out Horus for a top 10 epic DPS. I have him on my free-to-play Starlight Challenge account, and he's a very good. So he does bring enlightenment, 48 enlightenment in all battles. That's great. Absolutely love him. He is a poison synergy hero. When you're dealing with poison, rally, wild, you kind of all those. You want multiple people in the same team, same just like the wild we just talked about. So he actually has this great, when the hero deals poison damage to an enemy under poison, every stack of poison increases the crit rate of this damage by 1%. So if you know in your battle, you can stop between multiple poison heroes, him and someone else, you're always stacking up, what, 10, 12 poisons ideally at least. You never want just one poison hero ideally for optimal damage. You know you can build Horus with a little bit less crit rate because you're going to be keeping up some nice stacks of poison and something like Vortex at least. And then we have his battle skill. He has a poison bomb, dealing damage to enemies within range, with a 50% chance of inflicting 3 stacks of poison. So he does put on a few stacks of poison himself, but it's also really great that he has this AoE on a battle skill and the ultimate. It makes him wonderful for goblin farming. And again, we have another big smash here, plus triggers a poison explosion. I'm not as much of a fan of poison explosions for Vortex because you kind of want the stacks to always stay up. You don't want to get rid of them. And that's going to help you do more damage. It's going to help your other heroes do more damage. But if you have 2 or 3 poison heroes in the team and you're constantly putting up poisons very well, then poison explosion can really help. Or if you're doing something like, Goblin, where you hit them with your battle skill and throw some poisons, and then you hit them with your ultimate and you explode the poisons, that's definitely going to help. So Horus is a really great poison hero for that synergy, and he can be amazing just for basic damage in something like farming your goblin where you need that AoE. I would say the honorable mention here for the sake of damage would be Shink. Shink seems like they can really stock up a bunch of poisons as well, and really, it does more damage based on the poisons they have. And yeah, it could definitely help. I'm probably going to build both of those eventually for my Vortex team on my Starlight Only Challenge account. All right, let's go on to the next tier. So, on to Lightning. There's some pretty good Dauntless heroes here. I'm going to call out Shalter, though, because he's just so unique. Dauntless is one you absolutely, again, need multiple heroes of that synergy. That's another synergy type 1. He's got this amazing passive where basic attacks, let's see, has a 30% chance of releasing Chain Lightning, which deals derivative damage to enemies, and it can bounce to 4 times at most. So he can deal a bunch of extra derivative damage with every basic attack. And then he's got a battle skill here that grants a lightning shield, increasing as attack up to allies. The lightning shield deals derivative damage as well to nearby enemies. And then the ultimate here is really cool. Enhances all allies with lightning force, granting them blessings of thunder. When launching basic attacks, all allies with blessings of thunder have a 30% chance of summoning a lightning strike on the enemy, dealing derivative damage. Heroes have a double chance of triggering this effect. Dauntless heroes have a double chance of triggering this effect. So the more Dauntless you have, the better. Derivative damage is all about enlightenment, and it cannot crit. So Shelter is definitely one of those heroes you just stack a ton of enlightenment on, and you don't have to worry about crit rate, and just smash. I mean, this is so good. It's just all about the lightning strikes here, and dealing derivative damage, and other allies are gonna benefit from this as well. I mean, he's just gonna do a ton of damage. He's really, really interesting, and the more basic attacks that your allies are doing, the more chances this is gonna happen. So again, it's all about synergy, and I think Shelter just brings a really unique bonus damage to a team of Dauntless heroes, and he's one that I never got on my Season 0 account here. And then right next to him here, we have Yola. She is a little beast, someone that I have not actually played with a lot myself, but oh, I have seen Odd One use her a lot and love her. I think she's probably one of his favorite heroes. But she has a great aura, attack in all battles by 24%, which is great because the highest up from that is 30%, which is usually on legendaries, or Tio is the rare that has it, but that's harder to find. Also behind me here, we have her crowd control. So she does silence with her, or silence, when attacking an enemy under silence, has a chance to stun as well. Here with her passive, she has silence on her battle skill. She deals good damage with her battle skill too. 2 orbs that do 200% damage with a chance of doing some crowd control. So she's amazing for arena, but she's also just amazing for everything. Because not only that, but she also brings attack penalty too, with a 100% chance to land with an AoE. So that alone is amazing. And the fact that she hits 3 times for 230% damage to enemies within range, chances to inflict silence, that's going to be so great. Just overall, and again, especially arena, but in PvE, you can absolutely use her as well, especially just for the AoE damage and the attack penalty. Certainly doesn't hurt to have her against bosses if you need some synergy with lightning and radiance. She's a top tier option for damage. This is going to do great damage, this is going to do great damage, and you're going to see her a lot in the ranking pages when you're looking at lineups that are beating high level stages. All right, and let's move on here to our Radiant people, as we were just talking about. I could give so many other honorable mentions. Shook seems really cool as well. Lots of really interesting characters. But let's move on. Hegio. So Hegio is a wonderful rally hero. I have yet to get a good rally team to build things around, really. But all right, let's read him. He has his passive, a 50% chance of granting rally to a random ally after the hero casts a skill. So any rally hero that's going to help the other allies have rally up as much as possible is huge. That gives him amazing support on top of damage. So his damage here launches 2 attacks on his battle skill of 300% damage. That's amazing for a battle skill, 600% damage. And the second attack has a 50% chance of granting him rally and recharging his ultimate skill. So he's going to come back to his ultimate skill quite often, which is a very solid 550% attack with, if he has rally, it does 50% more damage. So 550% doesn't sound great, but as long as he has rally, that's going to be even more damage, and he's going to come back to that more often thanks to his battle skills. So he's definitely a top option if you're trying to synergize a rally team. Speaking of which, there's another newer hero. I'm going to call out Gatuna that I've heard a lot of people just love. She is also rally. She has a great Captain Aura here of 24% crit damage in all battles. That's really great if you know you're building your team with all crit rate, which most of your rally people I would certainly hope are going to have proper crit rate and crit damage because they can really smack. She's great for that. We got when she gains rally, flashes to the nearest or the furthest enemy and does 200% damage to them. That's a passive, just bonus damage. Whenever she gains rally, like from Hegio giving it to her, she can go attack a random enemy with just 200% bonus damage. That's a great, great passive. I love it. And then we have her battle skill for 8 seconds after being cast. Each battle attack deals extra, only it doesn't sound much, 68% damage, but every basic attack. So if she has decent attack speed and for 8 seconds she's just constantly attacking, that's going to add up really fast. That's a really strong battle skill, and stronger than it sounds just by seeing 68 as a number. And then her ultimate here is actually pretty cool. She's got a very unique formation in the way she attacks. She deals 700% radiant damage to enemies within range. If she has Rally, when casting the skill, it consumes it and deals true damage. Now, there's not a lot of true damage in this game, so keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that she does not put Rally on herself. So she needs someone like a Hegio in the team to help keep putting up that Rally. It says when she gains Rally, but she doesn't actually put Rally on herself. Nothing about her kit gives her Rally, so she's going to need an enabler. But man, when she has Rally, a bonus true damage is going to be huge, and she can definitely smack. All right, and then let's move on here to our next set of heroes. Let's talk about... Oh gosh, okay, so this is hard to narrow down, but I think I'm going to call out Rava. Rava is a wonderful Frost hero that goes extremely well in any Frost team. A lot of people are pairing Usha with Rava for great reasons. Rava brings an increased crit damage in all battles by 24%. Again, Frost team being one of those things that you really have to synergize. Like, Usha might be amazing without other Frost heroes, but imagine her like 800% turning into 1600% damage as an AoE. Yeah, you definitely want Frost up more often than not, and he could definitely help with that. Or she. This is Rava. Shit's a girl. All right, for each enemy inflicted with Frost on the field, the hero gains an extra 15% attack up. This effect can stack 3 times. So the Rava can have a 45% attack bonus if there's Frost on the enemies. That's amazing with someone like Usha in the team that's doing AoE damage. So it really pairs well together. And then we have a battle skill here that fires 3 orbs, 260% damage. That's solid. Times 3 for a battle skill. That's really good. With a 75% up to 100% chance of inflicting Frost. So this Rava is also going to help keep Frost up on the enemies as well. And then the ultimate is really cool. Summons a Nexus that lasts for 10 seconds in a designated area, dealing 55% attack to enemies within range every 1.5 seconds, with a 100% chance of inflicting Frost. Upon expiration, the Nexus will explode, dealing 400% damage. So there's like this fun explosion bonus damage on top of just dealing this consistent damage over time every 1.5 seconds when this ultimate is started. And it's going to help enable Frost to be on as many heroes as possible. So Rava is absolutely a top-tier option for a Frost team, especially if you're just wanting to build a team around even just the amazing rare Usha. Rava is a top option. There's so many other people like Rowena that's cool. Vidimir has some interesting stuff to his kit that can be used wisely. Gardas can smack. Like, it's a great faction. Dork, I know people love Dorkraz, but I just wanted to call out Rava because I think they have a really unique kit. And Voresh, not a Frost unit, but we all know Voresh. Let's go on to him. He is going to be our probably, if I had to choose one epic DPS in the game, it would be him or my last one I'm going to mention. Voresh just does it all. He is a support that's not a support. Keep in mind in this game, supports are not only who's helping your team with buffs or debuffs, but they also can be insane damage dealers, and he is a perfect example. Although his passive heals the ally with the lowest HP based on his attack when dealing damage. He's going to help heal your team, not only be amazing DPS, but heal. And, oh wait, he's going to debuff the enemy with a buff prohibition. He's going to remove buffs with his battle skill and deal solid damage 3 times, 120% damage 3 times with a battle skill, and then a massive full board hit 3 times to all enemies, 220% damage. The whole damn board. So he's just such a powerhouse. Doesn't matter where you place him, he can just smack. You can use him for the sake of high accuracy and trying to buff strip and prevent buffs in something like Arena, or you can go full nuke and not even worry about that and just make him smash, and he's going to be top tier DPS. He was everyone's probably most wanted coming into the new season, especially from the Horn event. I think he was probably the #1 pick. if I had to pick one, and for really, really good reason. All right, then on to our last heroes here. Quick, we have Questa. I'm going to call out Questa because I wanted to call out a single target damage dealer too, not just all these AoE heroes. And she's another example of someone that's listed as support, but is actually a really strong powerhouse damage dealer. She brings attack in Grand Gladiator Arena battles, 30% attack, the legendary version, but to Arena, she is an arena monster to assassinate, to be an assassin. So this is pretty cool. Every time an enemy dies, grants recovery over time to all allies. So every time someone's killed, she just helps heal everybody at the same time. So she brings support and damage, and we're going to talk about that damage. So this is really cool. Her battle skill charges toward the enemy with the lowest HP, with 420% attack, with a 100% chance when booked to place attack penalty too. So she's going to try to kind of assassinate, take out the lowest HP person. And if she doesn't take out that person, well, she's going to help them to, or disable them from doing as much damage. She's going to put attack penalty 2 on them as well. Even if they don't die, they're going to be weakened and do less damage against you at the very least. And then we have her ultimate jumps toward the enemy, dealing 950% damage, stealing 30% of their ultimate energy. That's huge, especially in something like Arena, but also can be great against bosses. There's a lot of boss stuff where you can decrease their ultimate energy and really, really help the battle. Oh, and she heals when she does that. So Questa is a monster and definitely not one to be underestimated. And then we're going to end, guys, with my favorite. Voresh and Zarloth are like my top 2 favorites in the game, probably. Maybe even just characters, let alone legendary or epics. I played him for like 2 days and fell in love with him instantly. He is amazing. He has 24% attack aura in all battles for all allies. He has a silence with his... This is cool. He brings silence and recharging speed penalty and fear. So he brings all this crowd control that's amazing for something like Arena. But he's just going to deal great damage overall. Yeah, again, we're ending with 3 support heroes that are way more than just support. So every 4 basic attacks heals the ally with the lowest HP by 300% attack, with a 100% chance of inflicting silence on the enemy. So every 4 basic attacks, whoever he's attacking, he's going to inflict silence and heal your weakest ally. So Voresh and Zarloth can be all you need for healing in some battles, which is really cool, honestly. Because they're just going to be pure damage. They feel like pure damage dealers, but they bring amazing support as well. And then, yeah, AoE with their charging speed penalty, massive smack here with more heals, and stun, and fears, and just a ton of damage, and he's just a monster. Totally my favorite, one of my absolute favorites in the game, who I want the most on my free-to-play account. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's my top 10. I hope you like my little list here. Hope it was helpful. There's so many more we could talk about with honorable mentions, but that, I think, covers it pretty well, and I'll see you in the next video.